As part of the QEP, or the Quality Enhancement Program, we will be covering a reading strategy called summarizing. You'll be required to conduct research for speeches, and you'll need to put that information from the sources you find in your own words or summarize it, so it will be helpful in the class. You'll also have a graded assignment that's linked to the strategy, so you'll want to do well on that. So what is the reading strategy of summarizing? It is the author's main points or essential points, but they are in your own words and they're also in a shorter format. So it is not your personal opinion. So you're just saying the key points and it's in your own words and it's much shorter than the original text. So let's have a quick pop quiz. A summary is which of the following? Is it the author's essential points? Is it restated in your own words? Is it shorter, or all of the above? Okay, let's see how well you did. All of the above. So we said that when you summarize, you want to take the author's main points, but you want to put them in your own words and you want to make sure it is much shorter than the original text. So all of the above was the correct answer. So what is a summary? First, let's talk about what it is, and then we'll talk about what it is not. It uses sentences that are in your own words, as we've already said. It shows an understanding of the meaning of the reading using your own words. So there you synthesize that with what you already know. And it uses keywords from the text, shows that you understand the subject. It also includes sentences that explain each paragraph, but only the important ideas. So we've talked a little bit about what it is. So let's talk about what a summary is not. It is not copied word for word from the text. And it also it has to include your understanding as well. So it can't just be straight from that source. It's got to be the source combined or synthesized with your own understanding. It's definitely not a dictionary entry, and it should not be as long as the original article. So that's part of the point in a speech. You don't want to have huge quotes. You want to put the research in your own words in most cases. So how do you identify the key points in a text? First, you want to look at the main points and the specific details, statistics, and examples. So if it is a specific detail or a statistic, normally a number or percentage or something like that, or a specific example, it is not a key point. You just want the main points. Often they occur in the beginning, the middle, or the end. So you want to look at all of those places for your key points. So you identify your key terms or maybe your topic sentence of each paragraph. If you're doing a longer reading, you might have 5 paragraphs, so you would need to identify the key terms and the topic sentence of each paragraph, and that is probably going to be your key ideas or key points. And again, for longer readings, you'll want to keep the important sentences, but just get rid of the other ones. That might help you just to mark those out. If you have statistics and examples and specific details, just mark those out. And then what you have left is probably going to be your key points. Also, another tip is to underline the key points. So you mark out the less important points and then you underline the key points. So that will probably help you as well. Okay, here's an example. So we look and I have underlined the key points. I put them in bold. So the number of overweight children is predicted to rise significantly around the world by the end of the decade. So we have that, and you see in red there are numbers or specific examples. So we would not include those. We could even mark those out. And then closer to the end, we have another part of the key point that health care services will be seriously affected in the future. So we want to underline that as well. And as you see, again, key points are bold, and then the supporting details, I have them in orange here, but you may just want to mark them out. That might help. Okay, step 2 is to synthesize your thoughts. This is where you put your thoughts with the information that you find in the text. So in this example, there's a picture of two pieces of the puzzle. One piece is what you already know. The other piece is what you find out in your reading. So you put those together. So you think about what you need to learn and how you can apply what you learned. Okay, let's look at the same reading that we saw earlier about overweight children. So we look and we say, what have I learned? Or I have learned that. Now I understand that. The problem doesn't get any better. And then the last prompt is it gives me an idea. So you may want to use some of those prompts in your summary. And in step 3, you will paraphrase the key points. So when you paraphrase, you use what someone else wrote, but you put it in your own words. And your goal is to summarize, so make sure it's shorter than the original text. And you also want to focus on key points and get rid of the details. You don't need facts, specific facts and statistics and examples. So you'll want to combine those key points and paraphrase those as complete sentences. So how do you paraphrase? One way you can paraphrase is by using a thesaurus, and it is a resource that lists different words, but they have the same meanings or synonyms. It also helps you build your vocabulary. Here are some example entries in the thesaurus. Other words for intelligence are savvy and brilliance. And if you look up love in a thesaurus, you'll find words like affection and cherish. So if the original text says, I love whatever, you can look up the word love and you can substitute that with cherish. Affection wouldn't really go there, but you could say, I cherish my time alone, or whatever you're looking up. So if you're going to use a thesaurus, you have some different options. One option is a book form, and we have a picture here of a thesaurus. So if you don't have a thesaurus, don't worry about it because you can look it up online. There are several websites that have a good thesaurus, and here too, I've used both of these and they are good. You have the Webster.com and you also have thesaurus.com, so you may want to try those. But you may not even have to go any further than your Word program because most programs have a thesaurus at the top. Word often has, so I have an example here where you can just click on thesaurus and then you can type in your word and it will give you a synonym for that word. So consider using that when you're summarizing. So let's put this into action. So for our course, you will be doing a few speeches that require research. And you will have to research, you will have to put that information in your own words. So let's imagine that you're doing a speech on global warming and you want to paraphrase the following sentences that you found in your sources. So the first is the temperature in many parts of the world is gradually rising. So you don't want to state it word for word, so you want to put it in your own words. So one possible answer, there are many different answers, but one would be many parts of the world are getting hotter. So that summarizes the key idea. Here's another example from global warming. We must take action to address global warming or the consequences will continue to intensify and increasingly affect the world. So we replace some of that terminology and put it in our own words. Global warming must be addressed before the problem grows and begins to have a greater impact on Earth. Okay, let's bring this all together and read this passage and see how you would summarize that. Here we have 3 different summaries, and the first one is too long. Remember, we don't want it to be anywhere near as long as the main reading. The second summary is the best. The increasing number of obese children around the world will cause serious problems in medical services. It doesn't have any statistics or any specific details or examples. It just tells the main points. And then the last one is just too similar to the original text. So if we went to a thesaurus and looked up some of these words, we could probably make this one work and maybe change the sentence structure, and that one would work. But as it is, summary 2 would be the best example of a summary for this article. Let's try another example. So pretend that you're doing a speech on traditional medicine and you want to include this reading, but you want to put it in your own words. So please take a few minutes and read this paragraph and then pick which summary you think is the best. Okay, let's see how well you did. So summary 1, summary 2, summary 3, which one do you think? Okay, so the first summary, it was shortened, but it missed some of the key points in the last sentence, so it was not the best option. The second summary had too many details, and it also misses the key point in the last sentence. So if you pick number 3, which is because of its effectiveness, low cost, and cultural value, many people in poor countries prefer traditional medicine to modern medicine. So this gives the key points, but it uses different vocabulary, and it also has an altered sentence structure. So let's review again what a summary is and what a summary is not. It uses sentences that are rewritten in your own words. It shows understanding of the meaning that's synthesized with your own understanding. It uses keywords from the text, showing an understanding of the subject, and it explains each subsection of the paragraph but only the important ideas, so you're not giving a bunch of details. So a summary is not paragraphs that are copied word for word. It's not copied sentences from the article with no further writing to show your understanding. It is not a dictionary entry, and it should never be as long as the original text. So we will recap again. You must identify the key points by separating them from supporting details, and remember, only keep those key points. Get rid of the facts, get rid of the statistics, get rid of the examples, and just go for the key points. Then you want to remember the puzzle pieces we saw earlier. You want to put what you know with what you found out, so you're synthesizing your thoughts so you can form an understanding. And next, you will paraphrase the key points into a shortened summary, and we had examples of how to do that. And keep in mind that summarizing is restating the author's point, not your opinion, so leave your opinion out. Now it's time for you to take the practice quiz inside the module, and you can take it as many times as you like, and it will help you do better on the graded assignment. So remember, it's 4 grades, so do the best you can. Good luck.